Hello, I am the Go Sales Master Curator, Ji-Hoo John. The Go Sales Master Camp has entered into its second half. We thank all of you who have been working hard on the Go Sales Master Camp for the past 3 weeks. So let's start the 4th week of the Go Sales Master Camp. Before we get started, let's take a look at today's topic. In last week's Week 3 lecture, we talked about the probability of success in network marketing and shared stories, which can give skeptical prospective contractors confidence in their success. We talked about the theme of, if you dream vividly, it will definitely come true. We will carry on with the same topic today. In the first session, with the theme, if they can do it, so can I, Professor Hyun-Jung Kim prepared 2 lectures on success theory, with the topics, Attitude is Everything and Control Your Thoughts. In the second session, you will hear from a senior contractor who has become a sales master before you about why you should challenge yourself to become a sales master. The third session is composed of lectures delivered by Atomy's most successful Imperial Masters on the first step to success, Sales Master. So, shall we go into the field of the Go Sales Master Camp today?
Hello, I am Hyun-Jung Kim. There's a theory of leadership called self-leadership. This is about exercising leadership on yourself. It means that one must demonstrate leadership on oneself just as an excellent leader leads the organization to achieve success. You too must be a leader who leads yourself. An interesting concept emerges from self-leadership. It is a concept of obstacle thinking and plan thinking. When we try to do something with a big dream, it is unlikely to be an easy task. You want to achieve something bigger. Then you have to take on more risk. Try approaches you haven't tried before and have greater courage and effort. You can't change the output without changing the input. You need to take a different approach than what you have done so far. In that case, many people think about why it can't happen. Things like that don't happen to ordinary people. Some people belittle others' success by thinking that those people must be from a wealthy background or must have achieved success through dishonest means and use that as a reason to explain why they themselves cannot achieve success. That way, you feel comfortable even if you don't try or achieve success. This concept is called obstacle thinking. It focuses on the reasons why it can't be done. This kind of obstacle thinking may make you feel comfortable now, but it can have an adverse effect on your growth. Meanwhile, when successful people encounter difficulties, they use their brains to focus on how to overcome them. It is the concept of plan thinking. Even if your own strength, abilities, or past experiences seem insignificant, you do your best to find what special qualities are needed to break through and look for any available shortcuts or detours. You think about how to quickly create the best method through more effort and trial and error. And then eventually the goal will be achieved. No matter what you do, there are obstacles, big and small, but only those who overcome them are given the title of success. People who have never experienced this kind of life are jealous of it or devalue it. They are pitiful people who have never experienced such good success. If they can do it, I can do it too. Not that no one has been able to do it. You need to believe that if they can do it, so can you. A long time ago, there used to be a race called the 1 mile run, and it was very difficult for people to overcome the 4-minute barrier. Experts said that if someone tried to run a mile in under 4 minutes, their heart would explode and their eyes would pop out. They considered this as a human limitation. But one day, a player named Roger Bannister broke the 4-minute limit. The world was amazed, but in that same year, more than 20 athletes broke the 4-minute barrier. If you think you can't, you can't. If you think you can, then you can. If someone can do it, so can you. You can be the first to break that limit. Don't think of it as a record you can't break. Instead, focus on how you can break that record and achieve it. Big results come from small, subtle attitudes. If you have that belief, you can constantly pursue it because you can see that you are getting closer to your goal. Trial and error is not a failure, but a process that leads to success. This time, this part worked and that part did not. Next time, you can move forward by trying to make up for the shortcomings. You didn't think it was an easy road to begin with, so there's no need to be surprised or discouraged. When your motivation is low, you also need the mindset of encouraging yourself to keep going. I also call this getting your money's worth. People who have worked really hard find it hard to give up because they don't want their efforts to go to waste. One day, you will succeed when the time is right. This perseverance sources from the commitment and passion to the goal. Merely having perseverance is not enough to maintain it. If you've done your best to the point where you feel you've given it your all and it still doesn't work out, you may actually find it easier to let go. It's much better to regret trying than to regret not trying. If your goals or dreams you want to achieve are big and beautiful and different from what you've achieved so far, your input should also be different. Then you may also be wondering what actions you should take in order to achieve your goals. But there is no research suggesting that deliberate decisions are better than quick decisions. Therefore, companies like Google that value innovation is said to have a motto of decide quickly, do it quickly, fail quickly, try again quickly. In this era, it is necessary to put everything, no matter how big or small, into practice and find the optimal solution through actual experience rather than just thinking in your head. Let me tell you how to improve your self-leadership. It is a way to bridge the gap between thought and action. First of all, build experiences of small successes. It may seem necessary to accomplish more important things first, but achieving those important things takes confidence. The more important and difficult the task, the more true it is. However, people who have experience of small successes can also boldly take on big challenges. The brain of a person without the experience of success becomes accustomed to obstacle thinking because they are not used to challenges. It is also good to have self-talks. I am doing well, I can do well, and I will do better. Say those words of encouragement constantly and repeatedly to yourself. I have faced many big and small challenges in my life. I became more confident as I experienced success, but I am still scared at times. During those times, I shouted out loud, I am Hyun Kim, and somehow I felt more confident. It is a theory that was once famous, but it disappeared after being criticized for lack of scientific evidence that doing a power pose was a useful method. The powerful body movements of successful people. If you put your hands on your waist and lift your chin while shouting, I am Hyun Kim, you might feel less nervous. It would be good for you to develop your own attitude with this kind of self-talk. Hello, I am Hyun Kim. There is a field called positive psychology. When modern psychology was emerging in the early 1900s, psychiatrists like Freud played a significant role in psychology. As a result, psychology has focused mainly on the dark side of human pathology. However, psychology is necessary not only for people with mental illnesses, but also for the general public. Human beings don't just have dark aspects, but also positive aspects, so a field study was created to research those areas. In other words, positive psychology is a field of scientific study of human positive psychology. Martin Seligman, a professor at the University of Pennsylvania who was famous for his research on depression, led the way to make this field a very important one. I am sure you have heard of learned helplessness. He gained great reputation by identifying the causes of depression based on this concept. There is a famous experiment that he did. It was an experiment he did with dogs. The experiment was conducted with 3 groups of dogs. The first group of dogs were confined in a room with electric shocks given to the floor. However, there was a switch in the room to turn off the electricity. The second group was placed in a room where they continued to receive electric shocks without the ability to end it. The last group of dogs received no electrical stimulation. The dogs were then placed back into a new room. Half of the room had an electrified floor, and the other half had a non-electrified floor. Dogs that experienced turning off the electric switch all evacuated to areas without electrical stimulation. However, dogs who had experiences where they could not control the situation did not attempt to evacuate the room. Only 2 of the 10 dogs evacuated themselves. All of the dogs in the room without electrical stimulation also evacuated. Dogs that were in situations they could not control had learned helplessness, which meant they did not even attempt to control the situation even when controllable situations arose. Martin Seligman totally became a star with this concept. But one day, he came up with an idea. It was not about the 8 dogs that couldn't evacuate, but the 2 dogs that evacuated under the circumstances. What are they? Discovering that there are always people who do not give up and try to make things better, no matter what the situation is, researchers began to study them. In the meantime, it is important to cure illnesses, but researchers also began to study ways to make successful people more successful and how to make ordinary people happy. With the development of neuroscience and other related fields, scholars discovered the important things needed to maintain a positive mindset. We often emphasize the importance of willpower, but evolution and hormones are even more crucial factors. Over the course of 100,000 years of evolutionary history, we have created systems optimized for the adaptation of Earth, and the brain is at the core of it. Humans are negative by nature. In order to survive the countless threats on Earth, it would have been advantageous to think more negative thoughts than positive ones. According to a Yale University study, 70% of people have negative emotions in situations. In as many as 30% of situations, people feel calm or positive. This means we tend to fall into negative thinking without effort. If you have suffered from negative emotions, that means you are human. Still, we should secure this 30% and expand it a little more if possible, shouldn't we? So, how can we maintain positive thinking? You need to manage the factors that dominate your thoughts. It is difficult for people who live in isolation without close relationships, who neglect important things such as eating and sleeping, and who are exposed to excessive stress, have a hard time maintaining positivity. They conducted a study of the top 10% of people who are very happy with their lives. As a result, their only common characteristic was that they were extremely sociable. When humans lose their sociability in such society, they fall into addictions such as drugs, alcohol, or any other pleasure-seeking addiction. So, people who build good relationships and help others are said to have a tremendous increase in life satisfaction. In addition, we have the brain and hormones. In other words, by controlling your body and lifestyle, you can increase your happiness and maintain your positivity. During my experience of coaching, I saw people achieving incredible success and goals that seemed almost impossible. What did they have in common? Their lifestyle attitudes changed during coaching. Their sleeping habits have changed. Their habits of staying up late changed. They started sleeping at 8 p.m. and waking up at 2 to 3 a.m. They also started regulating their diet. They used to love eating meat, but they forced themselves to eat vegetables and fruits every day for breakfast, or found exercising to be a hassle, but forced themselves to go to the gym at least 3 times a week or go for a walk in a nearby park. This is how new habits are formed. Diet is also important. It's called the happy hormone. Serotonin is synthesized in the gut. So you need to make an effort to keep the factory running smoothly and cleanly. You have to be careful about your diet. Plant-based diet is recommended. A non-stimulating eating habit is important, so it's best to avoid foods that are too greasy or contain a lot of refined sugar. Any doctor would also highly recommend that you exercise at least 3 times a week for 30 minutes or more to the point where you break a sweat. In fact, studies have shown that people who engage in brisk walking for more than 30 minutes at least 3 times a week can experience the same effects as taking medication for depression when they are diagnosed with mild to moderate depression. Sleep is also incredibly important, so if you can't get a good night's sleep, you lose energy. To compensate for the lost energy, our body releases an excessive amount of appetite hormones. This can lead to obesity, and it becomes difficult to control your diet. When your lifestyle is well managed, it becomes possible to have a positive mindset. It is also crucial to find a way to save yourself from overly stressed situations should you ever find yourself in one. When you experience stress, your body releases adrenaline, which stimulates excitement and alertness in the body, and steroids, which are commonly used by athletes to build power and increase muscle mass. These hormones are released in high amounts. It is because there was a time when we had to respond to threats this way. When a tiger appears, we need to respond to it. But even now, when you don't encounter a tiger, your body reacts to stress in the same way as it did then. As a result, when you are in a stressful situation, you may continue to feel fear that can lead to even more negativity, cause physical discomfort, and weaken the immune system. Therefore, it is necessary to take a step back and let things go, even if it means taking a loss. Have you ever experienced a lack of motivation to anything in such stressful situations? This is not just a feeling, it is real. So it is important for you to recognize what emotion is currently controlling you. If you have too many negative thoughts and feel stressed, you need to actively address the situation by managing the stress and deciding whether to endure it or break free from it. In addition, we need to manage stress by increasing positivity. Helping others really boosts positivity tremendously. There is a concept called helper's high. It is said that when you help others, the psychological satisfaction can last from weeks to months. So helping people and engaging in actions for the benefit of others is a very effective way to increase your positivity. Working together with our colleagues and taking actions that benefit our customers can all increase our positivity. If I may suggest some behavioral strategies, listening to calm classical music is known to increase positivity. Spending more time with nature, such as with pets or plants, can increase the production of positive hormones in the body. And one of the most important parts is to exercise regularly. When your hormone levels are improved, your thoughts become more positive. Having more energy in your body allows you to accomplish more good things.
That was Professor Hyun-Jung Kim on attitude and thoughts on success. It was an informative time where I was able to once again reaffirm that I need to have the right attitude and a positive mind to achieve success. The upcoming second lecture will be about why you should challenge yourselves to become sales masters through the stories of some senior sales masters. Through the heartfelt speeches of sales masters at the promotion ceremony, you can reflect on your own reality, experience the changing times, and reaffirm Atomy's formula for success.
Everybody's doing okay? Sleepy? Do we need any positive pose? Put your hands up and then,
Yes,
the winner
Nina.
pose, our Wonder Woman pose. So try to get ready to hear that actual stories, okay? I see Mady sent me a heart. Only Mady? How come nobody's sending me a heart? Emojis, okay? So thank you. Oh, okay, Walter, that's it. Thank you. And Bayasan, thank you so much. And Meta, yeah. So and Sandy. So we just gonna hear. Thank you, Walter. Okay, I know I'm the number one for sure. So we're gonna hear about the real stories, and yeah, it'll be moving our thoughts to stay in the positive thinking. For any obstacles, we will remember to stay in the positive mood. Okay, so let's hear for the second half.
Before I met Atomy, I was working 2 jobs as the standard, and there wasn't a job that I haven't tried. I am a single mother with a 13-year-old son who had to do everything I could, from selling insurance to selling cosmetics, to make money. I worked hard for 10 years, determined to raise my child well. But despite working tirelessly, not only was I unable to save any money, I couldn't even afford to take any nutritional supplements. One day, through an introduction from my friend who did Atomy business, I ended up visiting the center. The first thing I heard then was, "Your face is prettier than your friend, but your skin is a mess." It was then that my dull, rough skin with blemishes around my mouth caught my eyes.
Before I met Atomy, I had been working hard, running a medical equipment business for 23 years. But my business went bankrupt overnight due to the COVID-19 pandemic. The employees' salaries began to go unpaid, and even the rent was overdue, prompting a notice from the building owner to vacate the premises. I tried all possible means and methods to find a solution, but I couldn't solve them. I felt a huge sense of guilt when I had to let go of all my long-term employees. I couldn't bear to see their backs as they left, so I went into a storage room and cried my heart out.
I am a visually impaired new sales master, Lee-Sir Choi. Before joining the Atomy business, I put in a lot of effort to find employment. However, as you know, it is not easy to even find part-time jobs these days. So it was not easy for me as a visually impaired person to have an opportunity for an interview.
Looking back, my life has had a lot of twists and turns. At a young age, I lost my mother, and I always spent my childhood feeling timid and introverted. I dreamed of a life-changing opportunity in society. I went bankrupt in an instant due to Korea's economic crisis. At that time, network marketing, which I had never experienced, came to me like a ray of light. I was confident. Because it was a business that didn't require a high capital and was based solely on networking, I did my best with hopeful determination, dreaming of a day when I could make a successful comeback. Once again, though, success was not on my side. After that, I failed 3 more times in a row, and my life became a mess. I experienced frequent power and gas outages, and one day I even went to a meeting with my phone disconnected. One time, my car ran out of gas and I had to pull over in a tunnel, which almost caused a major accident. I didn't even aspire to be super rich, but life just didn't seem to go my way.
Due to an accidental explosion, my home, which had been my safe haven for the past 30 years, was completely destroyed. My husband was hospitalized in the ICU because he suffered more than 30% of severe burns all over his body. After regaining consciousness, I realized there was nothing left amidst the raging flames. It felt like the past 30 years of living in this house had burned down all at once. I thought, how could such a thing happen to me? Seeing the house turn to ash, I couldn't sleep because I had lost my will to live any further. My body and mind were exhausted. I suffered from shingles for a month and then underwent another month of psychiatric treatment. Each day was really painful and hopeless.
I studied abroad in Australia for 11 years. So I had a rather clear goal of going to graduate school in interpretation and translation upon my return to Korea.
The journey to get to this point was not an easy one. Because as soon as I started the business, COVID-19 took over our daily lives. It was frustrating because I had no consumer base and no one was willing to attend a meeting. Thanks to my sponsors who were always there to encourage me and generously share their business know-hows, I was able to make it to this point. The biggest reason I couldn't give up and sink into despair while blaming the situation was because I had a son who was already grown up, both physically and mentally. I couldn't just sit back when I had a son who always told me he loved me and would be by my side. After 2 years of working like crazy with Atomy business in the morning, a clothing store in the afternoon, and a bar at night, something happened that I could only dream of. I was accepted into Atomian's musician. I had the opportunity to realize my dream of becoming a singer that I had always written down as a life scenario had finally come true, which I had failed to achieve in my younger years.
Last July, I declared my will to challenge for the Sales Master promotion to my beloved and respected Diamond Master. Dreams come true as you speak it. Words are seeds. Despite having doubts about my ability when I declared the challenge, I miraculously succeeded. I was really happy.
However, Atomy was different. Thanks to Atomy, which opened up equal opportunities for everyone to work anytime and anywhere, I got the opportunity to work for the first time in my life. The obstacles that felt like a huge barrier to employment were not much of a problem within Atomy.
At the end of last year, I met Atomy for the first time. The solid financial structure, the chairman's business mindset, and the absolute quality and absolute price strategy were impressive. Most of all, seeing the vision that Atomy is rewriting the network marketing history made me feel like real success was finally within reach. So I personally looked into Atomy and started my business. Shouldn't I show myself succeeding confidently as a husband and father, at least once before I die? Fall down 4 times, stand up 5. Atomy was the last one. After putting my all into it, I ended up here today. Today's promotion speech would become an unforgettable page in my life as someone who had always experienced only failures.
To my husband and I, who struggled with unemployment and endured several months with no income, it was truly a ray of light. That's not all. My sponsors took care of us as if we were their own children. They took a long trip and provided us with not only emotional support, but also practical items such as towels and frying pans. I realized the meaning of positive influence that the chairman spoke about. I was able to get out of despair because of these people. It was an opportunity for me to rediscover Atomy, which I had only experienced as a consumer until now. I felt a strong desire to become successful and follow the footsteps of these kind-hearted individuals. There is something my daughter often says to me these days. Mom, you've changed so much lately. That's right, I have changed a lot. After the fire accident, I was paralyzed by trauma. But once I started working at Atomy, I woke up early in the morning, dressed up, and got busy. Most importantly, I had more laughter and positive thoughts. What would I be like now if I hadn't met Atomy?
How many people have confidence and trust in the company they work for? Some of my friends who finished their studies abroad earn a lot of money but are not happy. I have seen many cases where people have conflicts between the directions the company pursues and their own visions. But what about Atomy's success? They pursue a balanced life, sincerely wishing for the success of their partners and living a life of contribution to society and their surroundings. I realized that successful individuals at Atomy truly earn valuable money. It fit perfectly with the direction I wanted to live my life.
Atomy gave me the opportunity to challenge myself with a new position and allowed me to pursue my dreams. When I vividly dreamed as the chairman suggested, it really came true. I will vividly envision a year filled with only happiness. Within Atomy. I love Atomy so much for giving me hope when I had none.
Today, I would like to make another declaration. I will challenge myself to become promoted to Diamond Master within the first half of 2022. And I want to realize the dream that I have held dear in my heart until now. In the next 4 years, in October 2025, when I turn 70, I will build a beautiful nursing home in a clean and serene place.
The only place where a person with disabilities like myself can work freely and happily without discrimination is at Atomy. Don't you think I made a good choice choosing Atomy? I want to be a reliable support for my sponsors, just as they have been for me. Lastly, I want to thank myself for all the hard work I've done. I consider happiness to be the most important value in my life. I will become someone who shares happy energy with many people, starting with myself from now on. Thank you.
If I had to pick the best thing I've ever done, first would be meeting God. Second, meeting my wife who has believed in me and supported me even in difficult circumstances. Lastly, meeting Atomy, which has become my last hope. I am happy that with the power of the products and the establishment of true consumer relationships, I can dream of working hard and achieving success for the next 20 to 30 years. My goal for the latter half of this year is to achieve the rank of Diamond Master and return to this stage as a truly successful individual. I love you, thank you, and fighting!
Even though I finally achieved the first rank at Atomy today, My mind is busy. If I want to be a light for someone else, like the sponsors who helped me, I don't have time to waste. I will grow by strongly promoting the positive influences and effectiveness of the products that Atomy has shown me. Please watch my growth and development in the future after starting my second life with Atomy.
Now I know for sure. As Atomy is continuously growing infinitely, I too will grow with Atomy and gradually achieve my dreams in this rapidly changing world. Now I want to be a tool for other people's success and a good leader who exerts positive influence, just as Atomy has done for me. I want to be a leader who is not just flashy on the outside, but who is filled with value on the inside. I am still young, so there are many other means of success besides Atomy. But successful people find a way, while those who fail find excuses. You must find a way amidst countless reasons and excuses why you do not need Atomy. You can definitely find it. People would ask me, why Atomy? I would ask them, why not Atomy? I will do my best together with my sponsors.
Those were truly touching and inspiring stories. I was able to learn a lot from the stories of contractors who challenged themselves to become sales masters without losing their vision in any situation. Following the sales masters from the previous lecture, the following lecture is about how to become a sales master from Imperial Masters. Please watch other inspiring stories and special success know-hows from Imperial Masters.
I was not satisfied with my life when I only had a monthly salary. That's why I used my retirement savings to open a pizza shop, hoping to live the life I wanted. However, society was difficult, and I failed in all of my businesses, including the pizza shop, the beauty salon, and later the failed duck restaurant. My life went downhill even further and became more and more difficult. How could a person who kept failing due to her lack of ability succeed in Atomy? I realized that becoming rich solely through one's own efforts is difficult. Becoming rich requires many people to work together. We think that this is the one way towards becoming rich, because we are in this together. As I thought about how to do this together, our company motto came to my mind. We can all succeed together if we cherish each other's spirits, create our visions and goals, trust each other, and humbly serve.
I have achieved a balanced life including living, loving, and learning, which I wrote about in this seminar 10 years ago. However, there was just one thing I had not achieved yet: a contributing life. What I need to do from now is live a contributing life. Our Atomy Royal Club created a volunteer organization called SOS Support 2 years ago. We will grow into a world-renowned service group. We will show our future business leaders that successful Atomians are different, that they are leaders who contribute to society.
I am aware that many people are dreaming and starting Atomy businesses to make changes in their life. And I know how hard it is for you right now, because every successful person has been through the process. That's when it's the hardest. Many people are afraid because they see no change over time. Many people who are afraid end up wanting to turn back around. You can see it now, but you are growing. You are making progress, and beyond that hill, behind your tears, the success you have been longing for is hidden. You need to have faith.
I never even imagined that today would come. I did not even know that I was so lucky. We are all swans, including myself. We are all swans, but we live as ugly ducklings in the midst of the world's storms. We want to fly as a swan, but we do not have the wings to fly. Now that you and I have met Atomy, we can wear swan wings and fly as far as we want.
I truly believe that all of the leaders who are here today, through the direction and methods provided by our chairman and stories shared by successful individuals, can become imperial masters. If you accurately and correctly apply everything you have learned.
Atomy is now challenging to write a new history. We are moving towards becoming a hub for global distribution and a company with an annual revenue of $100 billion.
Everyone, I have $1 million in here. What I learned from Chairman Han-Gil Park and numerous Atomy members and employees is that sharing is also a habit. I am now determined to go beyond myself once again for the I never considered this $1 million as mine in the first place. I am going to donate this $1 million for the dandelion seeds for the next generation.
Dear Atomy family, have you heard about the Atomy pandemic? Atomy's overseas expansion is progressing rapidly. This is the vision of Atomy contractors. So it's something that anyone can do and succeed at. 17 people listened to the first Atomy seminar. We made a decision and started the business. We became one with our sponsors and partners, regardless of our lines, and worked hard with passion and hope. But some of them are not here today. They gave up halfway through for various reasons. All of us who persevered and endured, refused to give up, worked diligently hard, have succeeded, and are now sitting in this place.
If you ever find yourself wondering why you can't make it, I encourage you to revisit your life scenario and vividly visualize your dreams. Life scenarios should be written with an earnest heart. Don't be ashamed, and keep it to yourself. Instead, talk about your dreams with your partner and sponsor, and make a clear declaration that you will definitely live your life in this way. Your speed of success will change. 10 years ago, I didn't have a car, so I used to take the bus to attend seminars. After buying a bus ticket with the money, I only had $1 left. Although I needed to take the bus again to get home, I was so hungry that I bought 2 fish cakes and a bowl of soup and walked over an hour to get home. After meeting Atomy, I happily now live in a good house and drive a good car. My son, who was a high school teacher, has joined the Atomy business. My daughter, who is good at English, acts as interpreter on my business trips. It feels great to do business overseas and travel with my daughter. Everything I dreamed of in the last 10 years has become a reality.
Live a self-directed life with a determination to accomplish what you aspire to. Each one of you is the star in your own life. Do you want to succeed at Atomy? Do you want to be a true leader? What kind of people do you like? What kind of person do you want to be? Isn't it about regaining the spirit that our partners have lost by always giving, sharing, listening, comforting, encouraging, and walking out hand in hand? What's so hard about selling toothpaste and toothbrush? It's not hard at all. You have seized that opportunity. You definitely did. Everyone, be that person here. Each and every one of you is a luxury human being. Join forces with Atomy and our leaders to achieve success.
I am that nobody who has only graduated elementary school. Looking at myself, I couldn't say that I was a person worthy of being called Imperial Master Young Hee Kang. I will never forget the day when the chairman, who knew that I had just started my business, also knew that I was suffering from liver cancer, gave me him from his suit pocket and provided me with some encouragement. I regained my strength after consuming that precious him. If I can succeed, you surely can. Because all of you have better conditions than I do.
As a husband and wife contractor team, we owe our success to my wife, who discovered and learned about the tool for success, Atomy. She made the decision to never give up for the sake of her family. I give all the credit for today's success to the new Imperial Master, Young Ki Kang. Honey, you have worked hard. Congratulations.
At first, I thought that if I could earn just $2,000 through the Atomy business, I would be able to live a truly satisfying life, paying monthly rent and being able to afford my youngest son's high school tuition was all I could ask for at the time. However, after a year or two, the amount began to increase from $2,000 to $8,000 or $10,000 just by working hard and spreading Atomy from morning to dawn. My life began to change. A year after starting the Atomy business, my children said that it seemed like their mother was crazy about Atomy. When asked why, they said it was because I would talk about Atomy products even in my sleep. I don't know how many times I went back and forth with a strong conviction that Atomy would go global, even before the establishment of the U.S. branch. I fearlessly pursued success even when my health didn't cooperate. Thanks to Atomy products of absolute quality and absolute price, I have made numerous global partners not only in Korea but also in countries such as the United States, China, and Mexico. If I had not met Atomy, would it have been possible for me to travel to other countries?
It's a misconception that people who have achieved success must have had something overflowing to reach to the top. But if you listen to their stories, the experience of failure accounts for 3/4 of those who have succeeded. If there is anyone who is disappointed with themselves right now, remember that the final success will outweigh everything else. My shortcomings during that time were the driving force that transformed me and led me to where I am today. In the past, my life was full of failures, but I'm ahead of everything now.
I met God in my teenage years. So I wish to share that joy by ministering to the poor and needy, even to the ends of the earth. We have been able to come this far because at that time, Chairman Han Gil Park and I shared the same vision, had the same goals, and were able to walk in the same direction. We are spreading various acts of sharing and the gospel throughout the world. Everything I dreamed of with the chairman has come true. I believe that the reason Atomy has been able to grow to this day is the strength of its company motto, the passion we have for cherishing each individual spirit within the company motto, that all 6 members shouting together is the reason why we have been able to come this far and will continue to move forward. Being someone who has been with Atomy since the start, and as the chief contractor of the company, I will preserve in maintaining Atomy's faith-based principles.
People often say they want to become rich. It seems like everyone wants to become rich. But the number one reason why people can't become rich is that they don't think about becoming rich. Most people don't have a clear understanding of what it means to live like a rich person. So they don't aspire to be one. If you bring them money, they just pack it up and say things.
With this, the 4th week of the Go Sales Master Camp lecture has come to an end. Through Professor Hyunjun Kim's lectures on success and the stories of senior contractors, I hope the light of success will also shine in your life scenarios. Today, there is an assignment study following the topic lecture. After learning the 8 steps to success's meeting and invitation task, it's time to practice meeting and inviting others on your own. Please share your wonderful stories after putting the practice into action. Do you also remember that you have to complete the mission after submitting your assignment? The only correct answer is practicing self-disciplined behavioral habits. Then, I will come back with an answer. Based on Atomy's unique product philosophy to the question, you get what you pay for, in the 5th week of the Go Sales Master Camp. This has been Go Sales Master Curator Ji Hoo John. Thank you.